I have played through over 1,300 of the leaked Half-Life 2 beta maps, organized everything in proper order, and took notes along the way to figure out how the maps, story, and gameplay evolved during development. In this video, I will talk about Ravenholm, Eli's Lab, the Coast, and a cut chapter called The Depot. Ravenholm takes place before Black Mesa East in the beta, so let's start with that. At first, Valve was planning on connecting the canals to a quarry that then led to Ravenholm. Quarry 01 from 2001 is the first concept of that idea. The map is not that interesting on paper, mostly just being a quarry that the player had to travel on, but it had a pretty interesting vibe to it. Quarry 02 adds in these holes, confirming that this was indeed supposed to take place after the canals. The way to get down is to jump on a bunch of containers. As you can tell, the layout is very different, and honestly, for 2001, the size of the map is extremely impressive. The best thing about these quarry maps is Bob, my favorite Combine soldier, who will always be there for you. The third prototype brings back the quarry layout, and look, it's Bob again. He seems to be taking a nap. A house and some sort of truck were added in. Why is the truck bigger than the house? No idea, but why not? Quarry 03A is the same, except the house and truck got removed. I have no idea what happened between 2001 and 2002, but 1 year later we got D1 Quarry 01, a map that looks nothing like its prototypes. The player starts in the water and must swim for a minute before finding a nice looking big open area. Look at that, an ichthyosaur. Seems like he was planned to be an enemy and not just a quick jump scare cameo. He even has the same model from retail. Even though the map is unfinished, I think the idea was for the player to jump on a moving platform, get into a crane, somehow fix the cart system, get in a cart, and then load into Ravenholm. Quarry 01 Randy. Some new geometry was created and the cart seems to have been fixed, but there's still no way to manually activate it. Oh my god, it's J. Hauptmann's men's sportwear wholesale and retail. We saw this back in City 17. Anyway, that was the last quarry map. Valve did not like any of the prototypes, so they just scrapped the entire idea. We can now move on to Ravenholm. It used to be called Canals Town 01. The buildings already had that Ravenholm feeling to them, if you get what I mean. But this looked more like a scrapyard rather than an old abandoned town. Gas mask citizens were supposed to greet the player and, yeah, press like for free TVs. Obviously, all of this got cut. Zombie Town 01 from 2001 is the first actual concept of an abandoned town. This map seems to take place in Springfield and not Bulgaria. A few modified Half-Life 1 zombies ambushed me and that was it. Zombie Town 02 is the same, except the road leading to the town is a bit longer. Demo Quarry Town from 2002 is anything but a demo. It's just a bunch of random buildings in a big desert area. Wait a minute, this is the same layout used in that water hazard map. Sneaky Valve. And finally, Ravenholm. Please note that I will count both Town 01 and Town 01A as one single map, because that's how it was in the beta. In retail, the player gets introduced to Ravenholm, has to kill a bunch of zombies using the gravity gun, avoids some traps, meets Father Grigori, turns off some electricity, use Grigori's traps to kill some zombies, load into Town 01A, have some fun with explosive barrels and zombies, do something very satisfying, and load into Town 02. Quarry Town 01 is kind of similar, except the starting area is in another part of the town, and the entire killing zombies with a gravity gun section is not present at all. We just go straight to the part where Father Grigori gets introduced. Look at that difference! The map seems to take place during the day and even has the same layout used in retail, even including the area with the electric fence. There are no traps yet, this is just a prototype after all. The map also ends much sooner, pretty much exactly after what will later become the car trap part. You know what I'm talking about. Quarry Town 02 adds in a lot of detail, especially in the beginning. A car was placed here, some props were added in, and the part with the car trap received a door that leads to a very creepy interior. Quarry Town 03. Ravenholm received some new doors and buildings. Okay. Proto Quarry Town 1. Some better looking vegetation got implemented. This building now has an interior with a zombie inside and oh yeah, zombies are finally present. The old car was replaced with a better one and the previously placed doors got removed. Proto Quarry Town 2 is where the atmosphere changes quite a lot. The map no longer takes place during the day. It's kind of crazy how much difference just a small change can make to a map. Quarry 01 Restored will look very familiar to those who have seen the E3 2003 gameplay gameplay video. Funnily enough, if you decide to backtrack, you will notice that this is the same pier used in the E3 demo, except it's backwards. Town01 Older gives us a look at the first prototype of that demo. That view is insane for 2002. The entrance to the town is now half blocked by a barricade, and yeah, Ravenholm is finally starting to become Ravenholm, although the gameplay is kind of different. There is no way to go up and turn off the electricity to get over the electric fence, because there is no electric fence. Instead, we have a small puzzle where you have to take a prop, jump on it, and then walk on some pipes to get to the rooftops. Instead of going through this window, you have to use a path that was completely cut from retail, get into a cart, god damn it, and go on a nice ride. What is just a boring dark area in retail used to be much more detailed in the beta. I am guessing it was cut to make the maps a bit more linear or to save on some resources. A button. Sorry about that, Father Grigori. Quick small fact before I continue: because Ravenholm was set before Black Mesa East, the player did not have a gravity gun. Originally, Ravenholm used to be called Trap Town, because it had a lot of traps. Duh. One of the traps was being able to turn a lever and drop, I don't know, what the hell are these called? On zombies. Basically, Valve wanted everyone to use their physics systems in fun ways, but did not think about the possibility of using the gravity gun until like 2003. So expect to see more of these goofy traps very soon. Town01 Old changes the entrance to Ravenholm by barricading the old one and adding in a new room where you have to break some wooden planks to progress. Some props got moved around and oh, another trap. Let's try it. Yes, very effective. Interestingly, this building also received a new interior. Funnily enough, Valve decided to use this interior and path in the final build, even though it was probably just planned to be an optional area at first. The prop puzzle got replaced with stairs and a new interior was implemented here. Not really sure why the props are floating, but yeah, the cart is now much slower and responsive.
Fracture detected. Warning. Vital sign critical.
What used to be a section with a bunch of props and geometry got downgraded to something that looks a lot more similar to what we see in Half-Life 2. Anyway, the path to Town01A is blocked by a car and some props, and Valve was still trying to make the flywheel trap interesting. What better way to do that than to make them spin very fast? Town01 from 2002. Okay, zombie, time to die. Hey, torso zombies. They used to look a bit more disgusting. Remember the prop puzzle that got replaced with stairs? Well, now the stairs have been replaced with a ladder. Oh, and this window is now enterable. The drop down does not exist yet. What exists is this door that can be opened to get back to the other side of the town. Going back to the roof, the building that Father Grigori is in actually has an interior that looks to be some sort of attic with an elevator that does not lead anywhere yet. None of this ended up being in the final version. Returning to the car trap alleyway, it seems they decided to bring back the old geometry and even added in a conveyor belt that leads to the second half of the map. Speaking of the second half, we have another new trap here, but it doesn't seem to work. Town01B. Check this out. Imagine how the town would have looked like from the distance after blowing it up in multiple places. Town01C has the weirdest trap in existence. The cart ride is still kind of broken, and no, the zombies can no longer make the buildings explode. So far, none of the town maps had any kind of loading screen or ending. Now we finally have something. An opening to a completely new part of the town. This opening leads to a cut map that used to be called Town02. Not to be confused with the retail Town02. More to that a bit later. E3 Town. One of the most iconic beta set pieces. Not much is different, except for the barrier or whatever this is called that leads to the car trap part, which can now be destroyed. Town01 from the 2002 to 2003 2003 version of the beta is where everything changes. The starting area is no longer outside, but instead it's in the building that you had to enter in the previous versions. Then there's this. I wish this idea was kept in the game. Father Grigori would have been even more awesome. Anyway, that then connects to another room which leads outside, where the propeller trap gets introduced. The only difference between this and the retail is that the trap keeps spinning after getting turned off. The town is now on fire and another propeller trap. For those wondering, the zombies did not yet have the iconic backwards screaming sounds. The road seems to be blocked by an electric fence that must be deactivated by entering a building that a zombie opens the door to, going up a ladder and then pressing a button. Going back inside, what you will notice is that the layout of the room that was later used as just a bonus optional area used to be a bit different, and there was a hole in the ground with a poison zombie just chilling in it. Following that, you have to turn a valve to quickly open a door and find yourself at a not so electric fence section, which also received an overhaul. Fun fact, Valve was playing around with a mechanic that allowed the player to climb fences like ladders. The mechanic does not work too well, but it's interesting to see in action. The way to the rooftops was replaced with another Valve puzzle, followed by a poison zombie ambush. Look, a suspended car. The second half of the map contains two new kinds of traps. This weird one that I have no idea how to use, and bear traps. I mean, these are not too bad, but it is very easy to just accidentally touch them and die. By the looks of it, the loading zone was originally supposed to be down here, rather than having to go up a ladder and blah 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 blah. Check out Monk Circle.
Judge, O Lord, those who do injustice to me. Fight with those who fight with me. Judge, O Lord, those who do injustice to me. Fight with those who fight with me. Judge, O Lord, those who do injustice to me. Fight with those who fight with me. Judge, O Lord, those who do injustice to me. Fight with those who fight with me. Judge, O Lord, those who do injustice to me. Fight with those who fight with me. Judge, O Lord, those who do
Yes, Father Grigori. Town Training is next. Valve decided to make a separate gameplay concept map for Town01 where they could play around with ideas without having to compile all of the other stuff each time they made a change. What you are looking at right now is what later became this. A valve puzzle needs to be completed to get to the part with the burning zombies, where the gas trap thing gets introduced for the first time. What follows is just a bunch of nonsense. You find a digger, aka a vehicle that got cut, destroy a bunch of barriers, find another digger, and get stuck on geometry while trying to kill zombies. Holy crap, man, no wonder this was cut. Town01 gameplay is the second gameplay prototype. More zombies were put in the fire, and you can now open the door behind the fire and turn off the electric fence like in the retail. Poison headcrabs fall from the ceiling, and honestly, their design is actually a bit better. I don't really understand why Valve had to change their color to something that does not instantly show that they are poisonous. The car trap part finally gets added in, and I kid you not, the enemy encounter is almost the same as in the final build. Getting on top of the car to go up does not seem to really work yet. The physics are kind of weird. Now let's see all of these gameplay elements in action on Town01 from 2003. We start in a room that strikes a strong resemblance to this section from retail, and get a first look at a cut G-Match sighting. Some leftovers of the sighting are still present in the release build. Every feature from the gameplay prototype seems to have been implemented pretty nicely.
I have cried out to thee, light of lights, and thou hast heard me. Have mercy on my once beloved Samsa. Let me remember his former face and obliterate my memory of what he has become.
Whatever he said. Father Grigori's poison headcrab basement got cut and replaced with the dark and gritty trap. The not so electric fence is now electric and must be turned off. The fire, on the other hand, cannot be turned off, so you're just gonna have to Rambo in. All of this was not yet present. The entire getting to the switch section is extremely bare bones.
never should have come here, brother. You and all who follow you are doomed. I would welcome you, but soon it may be you I throw upon the fire. Well, if you can survive, then I will take that as a sign. Press on until you see my church, and then perhaps we can work together.
Car trap, blah 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 blah, and... You know, I think I like Beta Ravenholm more. We jump on the car and, oh, it seems the door up here used to be in a different place. That door leads to the rooftop. The player has to kill some zombies by starting a fire and using some traps. Really, Valve? Lastly, Town01 from September 2003. We were supposed to see a very short fast zombie tease.
If you can survive.
I am happy to say that no other changes were made and we can finally move on to Town02 after talking about the same map for 10 minutes. Like mentioned already, Town02 was supposed to have a different layout. One of the layouts is called Proto Church. It's mostly just a street with a bunch of houses and a church. You can go inside if you want, but there's no salvation waiting for you there. In Proto Church 2, the map takes place during the day, the houses are different, and the church is still a church. Town02 from 2002. Are you excited to see the map in action? Well, too bad. The only exciting thing is a barricade that explodes like 2 times. I like how the town looks, but everything else is not that interesting. I found some leftovers of this map in one of the other Town01 maps. The explosive barricade is gone, and oh my god, it's J. Hauptmann's men's sportwear wholesale and retail. In the real Town02, the fast zombies get introduced, Gregory gives us a shotgun, fast zombies appear, we survive a fast zombie ambush, go down an elevator and load into Town03. Obviously, the beta was a bit different. Instead of starting with the fast zombie introduction, we must lure zombies, lock them in a cage, and burn them. That would have then led to the fast zombie introduction. This interior is very different compared to retail. Except for the going upstairs part, which kind of stayed the same. Gregory gives us the shotgun and what the hell is even that? The fast zombie elevator ambush did not seem to be a thing at this point. Instead, what we got was a bit more interesting actually. Zombies breaking down some windows and getting into the elevator with the player. The poison zombie was always supposed to meet us after going down the elevator. Now, normally you would have to go to Town03 and do some stuff to get on top of that building right there. But this version of the map just has a ladder here, meaning it's not even necessary to go to Town03. Let's move on to the next build for now and come back to the second half of Town02 a bit later just to make everything a bit less confusing. Town03 Dario. No, it's not the layout of the retail Town03. The developers just had no idea how to name their maps properly. It's still the same layout as before. The drop down is now like in Half-Life 2, the zombie ambush from the elevator section got removed and now the player must go to Town03 to progress. Oh my god, Valve, please name your maps properly. For some reason, the tank does not have any water in it. Oh, and the fast zombie elevator ambush is now part of the map. Town04? For God's sakes, Valve, it's still Town02. Going inside the laundry, it seems it was changed to look more like what we would later see in the final build, with the only difference being that there were 2 doorways that led to the going upstairs part instead of just one.
Look here, brother! Here, to the church! Very good, brother. Keep it close. Get to the church. I will meet you there.
Oh my god, it's a miracle! Why is the tank still empty? Oh, nice, the door here can finally be opened. Next, I want to talk about E3 Fizztown. In the Half-Life 2 developer commentary, they mentioned that this map was only made to be showcased at E3 and that it began development in 2003.
This space was another area originally built for E3 2003.
Except it did not, and the map was definitely not supposed to feature Combine soldiers. Most people saw this and they were like, oh, so Ravenholm used to have Combine soldiers. No, that is completely wrong. What Valve meant to say is that this particular version of Town02 was made specifically for E3, and that explains why everything is so different. Like some cans falling off the stairs to showcase the physics, some props being stacked on top of each other, the the weird combine physics trap, and the propeller trap that was conveniently not in any of the other versions. So no, the combine was not supposed to be in Ravenholm. All of this was only supposed to be a tech demo. I did not find one singular combine soldier in any of the other town maps. Onto Town 03, in retail you have to fight a bunch of zombies, break a propeller trap, turn a lever to move a platform, go up on another building, climb a ladder, jump on that platform, listen to Grigori yap about something, and go back to Town 02. Starting with Town 03 Dario, the entire gameplay concept seems to have already been set in stone around 2 years before release. The only big differences are that the lever that moves the platform used to be a console that the player had to control to move the platform. The propeller trap did not yet exist, there was no way to get to that building over there, and instead of having this catwalk collapse, the plan was just to have a ladder go down. The upstairs interior had no combat, but looked kind of the same. Town Gameplay 04. Valve, please. The propeller is back, a ladder was added as a second option to get on the rooftops, it's now possible to get on this building, and what kind of design choice is this? And the platform now collapses like in the retail. Town 05. How were they even able to find the previous builds of their maps if all of them are named differently? Oh my god, bro, you do not want to know how long it took me to sort all of this. The ladder to go up on the roof got removed, and now get ready to see something that no one else seems to have noticed before. Another Cut G-Man sighting. E3 Town 05 from 2003. Even though this version of the map has only been made to showcase some explosions and fire effects, Ravenholm had the potential to be even more awesome than it already is. Town 05 from September 2003 is very similar to what we see in Half-Life 2, so let's go back to the second half of Town 02. In retail, you go on a catwalk, get in a nice establishment, talk with Father Grigori, survive a fast zombie ambush while waiting for a cart to arrive, go on a cart ride, meet Father Grigori, and load into Town 02A. In the beta on Town 03 from HL2 2002-2003, the way to get on the rooftop is a bit more straightforward. You use a ladder and boom! You are already here, and the cart is already waiting for you. Town 03 Dario. We do some parkour, and the ladder is gone. It has been replaced with a doorway. That doorway still exists in the retail, but it has been closed off. Going inside, the way up is not that different. What is different is that we finally have to survive the fast zombie ambush. Arriving at the church, what you will notice is that the map used to be a lot more detailed and less closed off in the beta. This area ended up being cut. That hole in the wall that was used to show where the fast zombies were coming from got replaced with a normal wall, and these structures disappeared. The developers were also playing around with another new mechanic, I guess, that made poison headcrabs come out of these holes in the ground. Town 04 gameplay. Some wooden planks were added to make it a bit more difficult to fall off the building. Town 02A. One of my personal favorites. I cannot wait to... Wait a minute, what do you mean the beta had no Town 02A? Alright, fine, just go look for some graveyard concepts, I guess. Yeah, there are none. What? Oh, fine. Let's talk about Town 04. In retail, the player has to slowly jump on some wooden platforms and get into the mines, swim underwater, use a propeller trap to get rid of some zombies, and load into Town 05. The first prototype that I found is called Town 02 and is from the 2002 to 2003 version of the leak. Remember that weird attic from Town 01? It seems the player was originally supposed to get here, go down an elevator and then get into the mines without having to do a lot of platforming or running away from a million headcrabs. The mines are not that interesting, only lasting a few seconds, which obviously is way more than enough and should make everyone happy. The second prototype is called Town 02 Gameplay and is a more extended version of the retail map. The platforming part used to be connected to a few rooms that had some extra supplies and enemies. Going down into the mines, the placeholder model used for the headcrab spawner is the one used for the advisors in the episodes. Fun fact, modders were able to find a model called Combine Big Mama Pod, which was probably intended to replace the advisors. One more thing that was Cut was a wooden barrier that could be broken, which led to the Digger. The idea was for the player to use it to destroy the headcrab spawner and get to an elevator that led to the next map. I think the only reason this was cut is because the Digger kept getting stuck on geometry and was very annoying to control. As mentioned some time ago, Eli's lab was originally supposed to take place after Ravenholm, so it's finally time to talk about it. Proto Eli Den 003 from 2001 is one of the first prototypes of the lab, or in the beta's case, the Den. As you can see, the scrapyard idea kind of survived development, but the entire layout of this map got cut. Proto Eli Den from around 2002 even features a very shy Eli who did not seem to want to speak to me. For some context, in the first few story concepts, Eli and Mossman were supposed to have different labs and did not work together. The player was supposed to go to Eli's den, go through the coast and some other cut locations, and then only after that get to Kraken Base, where Mossman was located. Kraken Base later got cut, and that is what led to Mossman being moved to the Black Mesa East chapter, aka Eli's lab. We are still going to take a look at Kraken Base when we get to it, but just know that in this version of Eli's lab that I'm about to show you, Kraken Base no longer exists, and Mossman and Eli are working in the same lab. Lab 1 from September 03 features a lot of cut dialogue. Let me show a comparison and give you some insight into how some of these scenes changed and what was supposed to happen in the beta.
Take it easy in there. You're safe now. You're among friends. Take it easy in there. You're safe now. You'll have to forgive the scanning process. We can't take any chances. You'll have to forgive the scanning process. We can't take any chances. Dr. Freeman? Gordon Freeman, is that you? Dr. Freeman? Gordon Freeman? Is that you? You've made it here this quickly? Well, Eli will be absolutely amazed. You've made it here this quickly? Well, Eli is going to be amazed, not to mention relieved. But it shouldn't be much longer now. I'm sorry, I've completely forgotten to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Mossman, Dr. Judith Mossman. I'm Dr. Mossman, Dr. Judith Mossman. Our paths have never actually crossed before, but I feel as if I know you. I've been hearing about you since long before the Black Mesa incident. Oh, that must have been amazing, working so closely with Eli and Dr. Kleiner when they were at the top of their field. Oh, Black Mesa. I do so envy you working with Eli and Dr. Kleiner when they were at the top of their field. I'll take you to Eli right now. He'd never forgive me if I kept you waiting. I'll take you down to Eli right away. He would never forgive me if I kept you waiting. And we could certainly use the extra help around here. We've covered a lot of ground the last few weeks, but things would go much faster if we had more people with your training. We've covered a lot of ground the last few months, but things would go so much faster if we had more people with your training. We're closing in on a reliable local teleport technology. Something the Combine still hasn't mastered. Now, Eli thinks their portals are string-based, similar to our Calabi-Yau model. But they failed to factor in dark energy equations. They can tunnel through from their universe, but once they're here, they're dependent on local transportation. If they knew what we were doing with entanglement... Listen to me, I sound like a postdoc. I'm just so excited to think that we'll finally have the chance to work together. Listen to me, I sound like a postdoc. I'm just so excited to think that we'll finally have the chance to work together. Now, Dr. Kleiner compressed the Zen relay far beyond anything he managed at Black Mesa. Where was I? Oh, yes. Dr. Kleiner compressed the Zen relay far beyond anything he imagined at Black Mesa. We figured out how to use Zen as an unexpressed axis, effectively a dimensional slingshot, so we can swing around the border world and come back in local space without having to pass through. Oh, here's Eli now. Eli, look who I found in the airlock.
I heard. Gordon Freeman. Let me get a look at you. My God, you haven't changed one iota, man. Gordon Freeman. Let me get a look at you, man. My God, you haven't changed one iota. How do you do it? I've been saying all along, Gordon will come when the time is right.
I didn't doubt you for a minute, Eli.
Well, come in. You'll feel right at home here. It's Black Mesa writ small. I still recall the first day you joined our team at Black Mesa. Dr. Shiny Penny in your clean white lab coat. And look at you now.
The dress code has relaxed a bit, hasn't it?
Well, we've come by some hard roads, haven't we? I count myself lucky to be here at all. Damn few of us escaped Black Mesa. Damn few.
Eli.
What's important is that we survived. And I've got my daughter with me. Now let's see. The last time I saw you, I sent you up for help after the resonance cascade. I never thought it would take you this long to get back to me.
It's going to make a huge difference having Gordon's help. It's going to be a lot more like Black Mesa with Gordon here to help.
Right you are. We'll get you out of that hazard suit and back into your lab coat where you belong. Right you are. MIT graduates are few and far between these days. We'll get you out of that hazard suit and back into your lab coat where you belong.
I'll see what I can dig up. Are you two all right for now?
We'll be fine.
Sure. Let me just finish up some work and I'll see what I can dig up. Dr. Freeman, it's been a real honor. I'm looking forward to working together. Dr. Freeman, it's been a real honor. I'm looking forward to working together.
Fine scientist, Judith. Fine scientist, Judith. She would have been at Black Mesa if our budget hadn't been so tight. She was up for your job at Black Mesa, but you edged her out in light of your work at Innsbruck. But you edged her out with your Innsbruck experience. It could have been her in the test chamber that day. I don't like to dwell on those days. Pointless. Only thing we can do is press on, try to repair the damage. Here now, this is our teleport. Still trying to figure out exactly what went wrong there. We've almost got that portal working again, but I wouldn't blame you if you didn't volunteer for the next trial run.
Dad? Dad, this is Alex. Do you read?
Alex, honey, where are you?
Approaching the south entrance. There's a lot of antlion activity out here, but no sign of Gordon Freeman.
Well, as a matter of fact, he's right here with me.
What? You're joking? You're serious? How'd he get past me?
You can ask him yourself. We're in the lab.
All right, Dad, I'll be right there. I can't believe he got through. Out.
You've impressed her. She knows how hard it is out there.
Playtesters hated having to listen to so much dialogue, and Valve was forced to remove like half of it.
If anything would have happened to her... Sorry, Gordon. I know you understand. You might recall at Black Mesa we thought we were a decade away from harnessing the zero-point energy field. Turns out the heavy lifting was done for us by the Combine. This is our zero-point weapon, our gravity gun. Built this around a little piece of tech Alex liberated on one of her expeditions. Go ahead and try it. It's got two modes, standard and asymmetric. Try them both.
Yes, Eli was supposed to give us the gravity gun and not Alex. Keep in mind, Ravenholm already happened, so the player's first combat experience with the gravity gun was supposed to take place during the next chapter.
Alex, sweetheart.
Hi, Dad. So, where's the troublemaker? I've never seen the antlion so riled.
Is touching.
I believe you've met Alex. She's my right-hand gal.
Oh, you mean old Mossy left me a hand?
Now.
I'm not starting anything. I suppose she already gave him the tour?
As a matter of fact, I was showing him around myself.
Oh, let me do it, Dad. There's stuff I'd like to ask Gordon. You know, about the old days.
Sure, you go ahead. There's nothing Gordon can't handle, with the possible exception of you.
Dad, please.
Gordon, you hold on to that zero-point gun for a while.
I want Gordon to see what he stirred up. If he's gonna walk in the antlion's den, he might as well learn to tread lightly. I'll bring him back in one piece.
You're in the best possible hands.
I remain unconvinced.
I've gotta say, I think you broke my old record for getting here on foot from Dr. Kleiner's lab. I can't believe you made it so quickly on foot.
I believe he broke your record, honey.
Well, he earned it.
In retail, Mossman and Alex argue about the teleporter. In the beta, I kid you not, they fight over Gordon Freeman.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hello, Alex. Back already? I wondered if you'd excuse us for a minute. Gordon, I wanted to ask you if you could take a look at our portal station. I'm interested in your opinion on the Zen relay configuration.
Judith?
Maybe Dr. Kleiner said
Can
something
this
to you
wait?
about the...
We've got somewhere else to be.
Excuse me, Alex. Dr. Freeman's presence here is extremely important for the continuation of our work.
Which is exactly why I'm making sure he knows the rules of conduct. It's going to be hard to keep hidden if he stirs up the antlions every time he steps outside. Now, if you'll excuse us.
All right, that's a good point. But bring him to the portal lab as soon as you're done, please.
I'll do that.
Be careful out there, Gordon.
So you've met Dr. Mossman. So I see you've met Dr. Mossman. She's one of the reasons I spend so much time outside. She's one of the main reasons I spend so much time outside. You should hear her drone on about how it should have been her in the Black Mesa test chamber that day. Dog, come! Come here, boy. Dog! Come! Good doggy. Gordon, this is Dog. Gordon, this is Dog. My dad built him years ago to keep track of me. Be my little buddy while I was scavenging around. My dad built him to protect me when I was a kid. That was the first model. He was about yay high. First model was about yay high. I've been adding to him ever since. Haven't I, boy? I've been adding to him ever since. Haven't I, boy? Oh my god. Those are scanners. Scanners! Gordon, get back inside. We've got to warn... Oh, the Combine's sweeping the area! We've got to head back to the lab. Come on, Gordon! Quick, get in! Dad, we just saw a full wave of scanners coming in.
I know. We picked them up too.
Dad, it's Alex. Do you read?
Alex! Honey,
What's going on in there?
where are you now? Where are you, Alex?
We're in the airlock, stuck in a full auto cycle unless someone can override it. We're in the scrapyard airlock, stuck in a full auto cycle.
Is Gordon with you?
Yeah,
Good. Is Gordon still with you?
he's right here.
Good. Well,
Dad?
I want you to...
Dad?
Gordon, I want you to stay with Alex. Take Gordon out of here. Head for the coast. Do not go through rape. Everyone else knows the evacuation procedures.
We're not going anywhere without... Dad? Dad! Dad? Dad! Damn it! Damn it! Dog, open the airlock. Get us out of here. Dog, open the airlock. Get us out of here. Hurry! Now, tear it apart if you have to. Just get it open. Hurry, now! Tear it apart if you have to. Just get it open. Oh my god. No. My father. Where?
Taken with the Mossman.
No! Where? Use your scouts. Can you see them?
Yes, we are watching. Over the Dead Sea, above the razor trains, toward Nova Prospect.
Oh no. Oh, please. Keep watching. Gordon, we have to go after them. Put the word out. Make sure you track them as far as you can. If they change course, we need to know. Come on, Gordon. This way.
The player was probably supposed to be sent on a mission to save Eli from Nova Prospect, just like in the final version. Gordon exits the lab and gets to the coast instantly. Before talking about the actual coast levels, I want to show you some prototypes. Drive Bridge. The goal is to get into a Combine APC and drive around the map. In Wasteland, the map gets some better visuals and gameplay. No idea if the APC was supposed to be the player's main vehicle during the coast, or if this was just a placeholder, but the APC mechanics still kind of works in retail, so maybe the buggy was not always planned. Wasteland 2 replaces the APC with a digger. It sucks. Jeep Beach 01 is where the buggy makes its first appearance, and I never felt more happy to see it. None of the shown environments survived development. Jeep Jump seems to be a fun buggy test map where the player can drive around and try avoiding props, roller mines, antlions, and antlion guards. Jeep Test 01 adds in some ramps and some other fun stuff. Onto the actual coast levels. During Coast 01, we have to get in the buggy, a magnet picks us up and drops us on our head, we drive away from the lions, use a ramp to get over a broken bridge, get some supplies from a house and go into a loading screen. Coast 01 from 2003 kind of had the same idea in mind, except the car was not yet on the pier and everything was made of developer textures. Quick fun fact, the developers were intending to make the TAW cannon be a detachable weapon, meaning it would have been possible to remove it from the buggy and use it in combat. Around 6 months later, Coast 01 received quite a big visual update. The map finally has textures, and it seems there was supposed to be a bit more fog here. The magnet is facing the wrong way, and the buggy seems to be stuck in place. Ow! Speaking of the buggy, its first-person view seems to be a bit lower than in the final version. mod will be here to slow the player. No mod was put there. In the beta, it was extremely easy to skip over the entire jumping over a bridge section by just using the turbo and going up a hill. The skip is still possible in retail, but some rocks were moved to make it a bit more difficult. This warning sign used to be here and got replaced with whatever this thing is supposed to be called. Unfortunately, the supply house did not yet exist, and we don't have any other leaked versions of Coast 01, so let's talk about Coast 02. Hold on, no-click. Coast 02 does not even exist in Half-Life 2. We jump from 01 to 03. But why? Well, because the Coast 02 prototypes were not that great. I found 3 of them, so let's see what went wrong. Seafloor 01. This is basically just a driving simulator in a big empty area. There is literally nothing else to say. Coast 02 has the same idea, except the environments are a bit more detailed and a big ship was put in the middle of the map. I even found some kind of factory, I guess, and a combined soldier guarding it. Lastly, Coast 02 from September 2003. A map different from its previous predecessors, which starts with the player getting a glimpse at a gunship shooting and nuking some endlines. Was the gunship supposed to follow us? Well, hard to say, but this path would have led to the crane section, so maybe. Now onto Coast 03. In the final build, the player has to drive, get some supplies from a house, see G-Men from the distance, kill some combined soldiers, arrive at New Little Odessa, get in the basement, talk with Odessa Cabbage, get a rocket launcher, destroy a gunship and load into Coast 04. The beta had some major differences. First, the house you get the supplies from is not destroyed. Second, the Endline Thumpers were not yet implemented, so it was a bit more difficult to avoid them. Third, the combined binoculars mechanic did not exist, so there was no way to see the G-Man from the distance. Fourth, what in the hell is that supposed to be? The grave mine from Halo? Fifth, this boat had a different color. Sixth, New Little Odessa had some cars blocking the road, the gate stopping the player from progressing was in a different place, and Odessa Cabbage did not even exist. His basement is still here, but you have to go talk with a citizen to get the rocket launcher.
Well, come with me and I'll show you how to count these gunships. You gotta outsmart them. If they can get a beat on your rocket, they'll shoot it down.
Bro, just give me that. The gunship battle was similar, with the only difference being that the gunship stays intact and does not get blown up into multiple pieces. Holy crap, move, move, move! Go get some popcorn for Coast 04 because I found 15 different builds of it. The objective is to drive under a bridge, find a dock, get on it, fight the combine, use a magnet to get the car on the dock, open a gate, smash through a window, jump over a broken bridge while escaping from a gunship, destroy the gunship and load into Coast 05. Starting with Proto Docks, this is just a huge, awesome looking vista. I know this is just a prototype, but man, I love that shot of the citadel in the distance. E3 Seacliff. An Eli monitor is connected to the buggy, suggesting that Eli was supposed to talk to the player during the coast levels. However, I think this was just put here to confuse everyone who was watching the E3 demo. The problem is that E3 Seacliff did not even end up being shown at E3, so now some people believe Eli was supposed to guide the Freeman through the coast, but I think that is just nonsense. Eli was captured during Black Mesa East, and the monitor gets removed in the next build, so him being on the monitor was probably just a test and not a planned feature. Anyway, Seacliff is one of the first names for Coast 04. It used to be a lot bigger and had a few optional explorable areas. The crane puzzle did not yet exist. You had to use a lot of willpower to get the buggy up here, jump over a bridge, see a lighthouse in the distance which was later reused in another coast map, destroy a fence to escape some combine, avoid a bunch of endlions. E3 Seacliff 1004. Developer textures can be seen everywhere, hinting at the fact that Valve did not like the original texture work. It is now easier to get up here and... Stop! E3 Seacliff 01. A lot of stuff has been retextured, the rocks in the distance got removed, and the path you have to use is a bit more obvious. E3 Seafloor 01. Look at that bridge. Does it look familiar? and a Combine outpost was put in the way to stop the player, but nothing can stop the Freeman. Does that look familiar? E3 Seafloor 02. Bro thinks he's the Lion King. The first bridge is broken like any retail, and if you happen to come from its direction, you will notice that the geometry was starting to become, you know, how it is in the retail. Going up the hill, the Combine Soldier outpost encounter was moved before the first bridge and seems to look a bit different. Damn it! Getting to the first bridge, the player has to jump over it, go uphill, the second bridge seems to be gone. Oh my god, I'm definitely not playing that again, and let's move on to E3 Seafloor 02 DS. The hill going up was replaced with a ramp, and the Combine outpost looks exactly like in retail. The dirt road was replaced with an actual street, but the street ends after some time and leads to another dirt road where some antlion guards wait for you. And that is it. E3 Seafloor 02 AB. A gunship instantly starts chasing the Freeman and keeps chasing him throughout the whole map. These buildings were completely removed from Half-Life 2. E3 Seafloor. I think I'm starting to understand why there is no Combine Soldier in front of the window in the final build. These houses got repainted, some cars were put on the street, and that is pretty much it. Coast 03. We start near the dam, the gunship and all the soldiers are gone, and the bridge is a lie. And here comes Valve with their stupid way of naming things again. Coast 04 DX60. The layout is a bit different, and it seems the crane puzzle was slowly starting to be added in. Friendly NPCs on the docks. Careful! The Combine have taken over this facility. I used to be the crane operator. The old thing still works, but there's been no occasion to use it for years. The path to the crane looked different, the actual crane puzzle did not work yet, and it seems the puzzle only required the player to get the buggy on the pier, rather than do that and then also make the bridge fall down. Hey, neat, it's a map of the region. I can see C-17 and the Gulag and everything. That poster looks sinister. The Combine Soldier model was accidentally replaced with the gunship model, which led to whatever is happening on the screen. Other than that, the hill up the street no longer exists. Now it's just a normal street that leads to a tunnel, which was a bit more detailed in the beta. Coast 04, still Coast 03, from September 2003. Valve fixed the crane puzzle and decided to also make you move the bridge, but let's say the physics code was not 100% bug-free. Coast 05. The retail starts with us meeting some roller mines on the way to a big Combine ambush. After the ambush, the Freeman finds a crossbow and must find a way to open a Combine gate to progress. Some combat later, we push a Combine APC in the water to cut the power of the gate and drive into a tunnel again. One of the first prototypes of Coast 05 is called Coast 04. No combat elements or literally any elements are present, just a long empty street and some Minecraft looking structures. Coast 05 from September 2003 is where things get interesting. Roller mines appear and their models are kind of weird. The entire Combine ambush from retail did not seem to exist yet. What existed is a bonus roller mine encounter, but who really cares about that? Some Combine soldiers are waiting for us behind an APC. The way is still blocked by a gate, but the gate is a bit more badass. One of my biggest disappointments was finding out that the fuel tank's destruction used to be better in the beta. Also, opening the gate does not involve having to push the APC off a cliff. We just have to press a stupid button. Not quite sure if what we are seeing on the screen right now was supposed to be a building or the tunnels, but either way, the way to them was a bit longer. Moving on to Coast 07, this is another one of those maps where the player has to go through another map and then return, so I will divide it into two parts rather than try and explain everything at the same time. Wait a minute, NoClick, what happened with Coast 06? Well, that, my friend, is a question with a multitude. My employers do not want me to answer that question because they themselves have absolutely no idea. Seriously, I found nothing about Coast 06. Some of the leaked maps were named that way, but these were only prototypes for Coast 03 and Coast 04, so I have no idea what Coast 06 was supposed to be. We see a gunship in the distance, meet some Combine soldiers, get on a train track, and find out the only way to open a Combine gate is to travel to the other side of the huge bridge and turn it off. Seafloor Bridge is the first prototype name. The way to the bridge was a bit shorter, the train tracks used to be a street, and the dropship container had an actual container as a placeholder. Now, there seem to have been two ways to get to the bridge. Use the normal way, or somehow go through a gate, open a door and go down some stairs. Gunship Chase 2. Combine walls are now Combine walls. In Coastline Bridge and Coast 06, things become a bit more familiar. The entrance to the bridge street has some roadblocks, Combine walls are no longer Combine walls, some stairs were put here, and some house geometry was added in. Coast 07 from September 2003. How many times did they get the names wrong so far? This roadblock got replaced with some kind of border thing. I guess the Combine does not really know how to decorate. Combine wall is Combine wall again, the stairs that could have been used to go down got cut, and now we only have one path to the bridge. Oh, and of course, the entire geometry was changed again and looks very similar to retail, with the only real difference being that this house did not have an interior. Coast 08. The objective is to slowly walk on a very dangerous bridge while killing some Combine and trying to get to the other side. Turning off the gates results in a gunship showing up and chasing the player. Backtrack to the other side and load back into Coast 07. I found an old prototype called Wasteland Bridge, which shows what might just be the earliest version of the bridge map. Its gameplay is very linear. Getting to the other side of the bridge only takes a few seconds, and there is no way to actually end the map. Kind of awesome how everything was made of stone. Seafloor Bridge. A Combine soldier used to wait for us here. Getting to the other side was nowhere near close to being as dangerous as the retail. Just like in the previous version, the gameplay was very linear. One thing that I wish stayed the same was how the gate opening gets shown to the player. In the beta, it used to be easier to understand what the button does. In the retail, however, it is much more difficult to see the gate opening. Valve tried fixing this by adding some text on the Combine monitor, but has anyone even noticed that? On Coastline Bridge from 2003, the bridge geometry gets changed, but it is still very difficult to fall off. The metal things that the player has to walk on are much thicker than in Half-Life 2. For some reason, the room with the gate button was moved to the other side. A gunship now ambushes the player, but we do not get a rocket launcher like in the retail. That could be because the gunship was originally supposed to continue chasing us for the next two maps. Coast 06 is similar, with the only difference being that some streets were visible from the bridge. Were we supposed to drive on them afterward? Maybe, probably, I don't know. Coast 08. Valve, please. The platforming is now more difficult and requires the player to actually pay attention. That is much better than retail. The gunship appears and can finally be fought using the rocket launcher. Returning to Coast 07, we kill some zombies and Combine soldiers, get in the buggy, avoid getting hit by a train, and go into a tunnel. In Seafloor Bridge, the gunship was supposed to continue following us and even had a weird halo-looking glassing explosion ability that I think got scrapped. We continue on a road and not a train track, use a ramp and meet the void. Coastline Bridge. The gunship is still following us, we have to take a left instead of a right, and the ramp is gone. Coast 06. No gunship is present. Just a reminder, because everything is just so confusing, the map that we talked about is called Coast 07 in retail. Because the bridge section was Coast 08, we jumped from Coast 07 to Coast 09. A map that has a few obstacles along the way, but mostly focuses on driving and a few puzzles here and there. The only beta map that kind of looks like Coast 09 is Coastline Lighthouse. Normally, you would only be able to see the lighthouse in retail retail Coast 10, but I guess the beta wanted to use it as some kind of motivation for the player to keep playing. Anyway, Coastline Lighthouse does not have any gameplay, only driving. In Coast 10, we reach the lighthouse, find rebels, survive a long combine attack, fight a gunship in the lighthouse, and escape using a hidden door. In the beta, well, only the gunship battle existed, the lighthouse had a different interior, and some combined soldier combat. Was the fight any different? Not really. So what, is that it? Did they come up with the concept for Coast 10 very late into development? Actually, no. The entire fight was supposed to take place during a chapter called The Depot. That chapter got cut, but they liked the idea and reused it in Coast 10. Before talking about that, let me explain what the depot was. You know in retail how there's a chapter called Sandtraps that starts on Coast 09 and ends when the player reaches and enters Nova Prospect? The beta kind of had all of that, but not really. Let me explain. Coast 11, aka the part where Laszlo dies and the player gets the bug bait, existed on paper, but no actual maps had been made for this concept by the time the leak happened. I was able to only find a few bug bait test maps and some stuff called Endline Caves, but that is it. Coast 12 is where things get very interesting. The Freeman and his Endline army go on a rampage and make their way to Nova Prospect by killing every single combined soldier in sight. They climb a big mountain and load into Prison 01. The beta equivalent to that is the Depot chapter. Its first prototype, Wasteland Depot from 2001, shared a similar idea, but the execution was completely different. Endlions ambush a few combined soldiers, and we make our way in some sort of combined outpost. Stalkers were supposed to show up as enemies, and their favorite move was the Michael Jackson. Cremators were also planned to be here, but their AI does not seem to work. Fun fact, the beta had a weapon called Brickbat. Well, it's not really a weapon, more like a mechanic. The player was able to pick up stuff like the cremator's head and throw it at the enemies. Some other items that could be picked up were rocks, beer bottles, and even headcrabs. The rest of the map is not too interesting and pretty much got scrapped, so let's talk about Proto Wasteland Depot. This big combine-looking structure is the depot. I like how some of these structures survived long enough to be reused in some of the Nova Prospect areas. Depot 1 is where some things start to make a lot more sense. Like the lighthouse, which I just talked about. Combined soldiers are guarding it, and going to the top gives you a very nice view of the depot. No clipping inside. I think this is what inspired the developers to have the Freeman break into Nova Prospect in the final version. Wasteland Depot outside. A gunship near a lighthouse. Doesn't that sound familiar? Die. I found some prison cells while no clipping around, confirming that Nova Prospect was indeed supposed to take place after the depot. Depot 01B. A citizen casually teleports in front of the Freeman and gets shot. The depot has a new model, and the way to get to the lighthouse is to jump on a bunch of rocks while killing combined soldiers. The view from up here somehow got worse. Depot 01C. A gas mask citizen accidentally dies, two gas mask citizens accidentally die, and same old same old. In 2002, the level geometry was changed, and even though the whole map is much bigger, it is easier for the player to understand where to go. Really good use of colors. Also, the depot model kind of looks like the vault from Half-Life Alyx. Thumpers were in the way, and they even had ladders like the ones from retail, which means they were meant to be turned off, confirming that the Freeman was supposed to go into the depot with an army of endlions. By Depot 02, Valve was ready to showcase this map at E3, and started adding some scripted sequences here and there. One where endlions play with a dead body, and one where some soldiers run away from the player. E3 Depot ended up being showcased for around 8 minutes in total. We are almost done with the depot. All that is left to talk about is how the Freeman gets into Nova Prospect. In Half-Life 2, we use endlions to distract some guards, start a big fight, destroy 2 gunships, make an entrance into Nova Prospect and get in. Compound 3 from the beta starts with combined combat. We go outside and take a better look at the depot. Compound 6 adds in the endlions. Depot 03 gives the depot an awesome looking model, and the Freeman can finally break into Nova Prospect. We will talk about the interior of this map a bit later. I have to say, the map looks awesome, but its gameplay is not that good. Valve had the same thing in mind, so they decided to remake everything from scratch a few months later and named the prototype Pre-Prison 1. The big beta fans will look at this and go, Fun fact, did you know the depot survived development and can be seen in the distance when raiding Nova Prospect? Anyway, the gameplay of this prototype was much better, even including some parts that survived development, like the Combine using these towers to have an unfair advantage over the Freeman, only to get destroyed by the Antlines. Getting into Nova Prospect was much easier, with us only needing to survive a small ambush, rather than fighting a million soldiers and 2 gunships. I will see you in part 3, where I will talk about Nova Prospect, the Air Exchange, the Borealis, Kraken Base, Weather Control, the Vertigo, Street Wars, and Half-Life 2's original ending.